This video is about properties of integers for 7th graders. 7th graders, this is your virtual classroom. The following are some simple reminders to make your learning as smooth and easy as possible. Prepare a sheet of paper and a pen for answering the exercises. To make sure that you comprehend the concepts in the video, pause and replay the video as needed. Now, let's get started. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to illustrate the different properties of the operations on integers: closure, commutative, associative, distributive, identity, and inverse. And use the different properties in rewriting expressions. Now that we know the objectives of this video, let's begin. Let's play a detective game. We name it Super Math Detective. Super Math Detective. How can you make sure to wake up in the morning with a smile? And here are our number clues. Let us work on them to decode the answer to the mystery. Get a sheet of paper and solve the following integers. Pause this part of the video so that you will have time to answer. Check out the correct answers. Negative 15 over 5 is equal to negative 3. Negative 9 times 8 is equal to negative 72. Negative 5 plus 12 is equal to 7. Negative 13 plus 17 is equal to 5. 6 times 6 is 36. 18 plus negative 15 is 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 15 plus negative 5 plus 12 is 22. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. Negative 9 minus 11 is negative 20. Negative 8 times negative 2 is 16. 10 over 5 plus 2 is 4. Negative 2 minus negative 10 is 8. 8 plus negative 6 plus negative 3 is negative 1. Negative 6 times negative 7 is 42. And 11 times negative 3 is negative 33. Using our codes, let us answer the question: how to be sure to wake up in the morning with a smile? And the answer is, you bet, sleep with a hanger in your mouth. Do you want to do that? No thanks. Let us just learn about the properties of integers. Now check out these color tiles. We have here green tiles and blue tiles. The illustration shows that the color tiles are being added together. Hence, 6 green tiles plus 4 blue tiles is equal to 10 tiles in total. Now what if we are going to change the order? 4 blue tiles plus 6 green tiles is equal to 10 tiles in total. Do you see the similarity between the two addition sentences? That is right. They both have the same total, which is 10 tiles. What are the properties evolving around these two addition sentences? Does the order of the addends affect the sum? Do you think they have equal answers? Let us find out more in the video. So, keep on watching! This part of the video talks about the different properties of integers. Examples will also be shown to further understand each property of integer. Here are the different properties of integer: closure property, commutative property of addition, commutative property of multiplication, associative property of addition, associative property of multiplication, distributive property, additive identity property, multiplicative identity property, additive inverse property, and multiplicative inverse property. Let's begin with the closure property. This property states that two integers that are added and multiplied remain as integers. For example, negative 4 plus 9 equals 5. 4 and 9 are integers. Their sum, which is 5, is also an integer. 7 plus 13 equals 20. 7 and 13 are integers. Their sum, which is 20, is also an integer. Same with negative 3 times negative 4 is equal to 12. And multiplicative inverse property. Let's begin with the closure property. This property states that two integers that are added and multiplied remain as integers. For example, negative 4 plus 9 equals 5. 4 and 9 are integers. Their sum, which is 5, is also an integer. 7 plus 13 equals 20. 7 and 13 are integers. Their sum, which is 20, is also an integer. Same with negative 3 times negative 4 is equal to 12. And negative 9 times 11 is equal to negative 99. This means that if you are going to add integers, the answer will not become a rational number or a radical number. It will remain an integer. Commutative property of addition states that changing the order of addends does not change the sum. For example, 5 plus 7 equals 7 plus 5. We have 5 plus 7 is equal to 12, and 7 plus 5 is still equal to 12. Now we have negative 4 plus 9 is still the same as 9 plus negative 4. Negative 4 plus 9 is equal to 5. 9 plus negative 4 is still equal to 5. Same as negative 6 plus negative 8 is equal to negative 14, and negative 8 plus negative 6 is still equal to negative 14. What about 13 plus negative 31? That is equal to negative 18. And negative 31 plus 13 is still equal to negative 18. So going back to our color tiles, we can say that these color tiles illustrate the commutative property of addition. The order of addends does not affect the sum. Here, 6 comes first, then 4. And then here, 4 comes first, then 6. And they both have a total of 10 tiles. The commutative property of multiplication states that changing the order of the factors does not change the product. For example, 7 times 6 is equal to 42, and 6 times 7 is still equal to 42. Here, 7 comes first, and then 6 comes next. The other one, 6 comes first, and then 7 comes next. They still have the same answer, which is 42. Another one, negative 3 times 7 is equal to negative 21. 7 times negative 3 is still equal to negative 21. Negative 8 times negative 5 is 40, and negative 5 times negative 8 is still 40. 9 times negative 4 is equal to negative 36, and negative 4 times 9 is still equal to negative 36. The associative property of addition. Changing the grouping of the addends does not change the sum. For example, the quantity of 6 plus 3 plus 8 is still the same as 6 plus the quantity of 3 plus 8. So 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 8 is 17. 6 plus 3 plus 8 is equal to 6 plus 11 is still equal to 17. We have the quantity of negative 7 plus 5 is equal to negative 2. Bring down plus 9, that will be negative 2 plus 9 is 7. Negative 7 plus the quantity of 5 plus 9 is equal to negative 7. You bring that down. 5 plus 9 is equal to 14. Negative 7 plus 14 is equal to 7. Another example, the quantity of negative 5 plus negative 3 is negative 8. Bring down 11, that's negative 8 plus 11 is 3. On the other side, we have negative 5 plus the quantity of negative 3 plus 11. Bring down negative 5, and then negative 3 plus 11 is 8. So negative 5 plus 8 is equal to 3. They are the same. Here, for our last example, negative 9 plus negative 5 is equal to negative 14. And then bring down negative 2. So negative 14 plus negative 2 is negative 16. Negative 9 plus the quantity of negative 5 plus negative 2, we have bring down a negative 9 and add negative 5 and negative 2, that would be negative 7. Negative 9 plus negative 7 is equal to negative 16. The associative property of multiplication. Changing the grouping of the factors does not change the product. Here we have the quantity of 3 times 6 is equal to 18, and then we bring down 4, so 18 times 4 is 72. 3 times the quantity of 6 times 4, 6 times 4 is equal to 24. We bring down 3, 24 times 3 is equal to 72. They have the same answer. Here we have the quantity of negative 2 times 4 times 5, so negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, times 5 is negative 40. Then we have here negative 2 times the quantity of 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20, times negative 2 is still negative 40. Now we have negative 3 times negative 5 is 15. Times 2, 15 times 2 is 30. Negative 3 times negative 5 times 2. Negative 5 times 2 is equal to negative 10 times negative 3 is 30. Our last example is the quantity of negative 6 times the quantity of negative 4 is equal to 24 times negative 3 is equal to negative 72. Negative 6 times the quantity of negative 4 times negative 3, which is 12, so negative 6 times 12 is equal to negative 72. The distributive property. It states that multiplying a sum by a number is the same as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the two products. For example, 5 times the quantity of 6 plus 7 is still equal to, when you distribute your 5 to the numbers inside of your quantity, which are 6 and 7. That would be 5 times 6 plus 5 times 7. Let's try that. 6 plus 7 is equal to 13 times 5 is 65. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 plus 35 is equal to 65. Another example. 4 plus 9 is 13. Times negative 2, we have negative 26. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. So, negative 8 plus 18 is still negative 26. Another example, we have 25 minus 8 is 17. 17 times 3 is 51. It is the same as when you distribute your value of 3 to 25 and 8. So 3 times 25 is 75. 3 times 8 is 24. Now 75 minus 24 is still equal to 51. Last example, negative 4 times the quantity of 7 minus 15. 7 minus 15 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 4 is 32. Now, we distribute our negative 4 to 7 and 15. That would be negative 4 times 7 is equal to negative 28. And then negative 4 times 15 is equal to negative 60. Now, negative 28 minus negative 60 is equal to 32. And they have the same answer. Here is our additive identity property, which states that adding 0 and any number does not change the value of the number. 13 plus 0 is 13, for example. Negative 17 plus 0 is still negative 17. And lastly, 0 plus negative 43 is still equal to negative 43. Now, what about the multiplicative identity property? This time, multiplying 1 and any number does not change the value of the number. For example, 12 times 1 is 12. Negative 24 times 1 is negative 24. 1 times 15 is still 15. You got it. And 1 times negative 35 is still negative 35. How about additive inverse property? The sum of any integer and its additive inverse is 0. For example, the additive inverse of 4 is negative 4. If you are going to add it, 4 plus negative 4 is equal to? Yes, it's equal to 0. And the additive inverse of 21 is negative 21. So 21 plus negative 21 is 0. What about a negative 34? The additive inverse of negative 34 is 34. So negative 34 plus 34 is equal to? It's 0. And also, the additive inverse of negative 65 is 65, which negative 65 plus 65 is equal to 0. You just have to add the number with the opposite sign as your given number. If your given number is a positive, add the one with the negative. If your given number is a negative, add the one that is positive. Let's move on to the multiplicative inverse property. The product of any integer to its multiplicative inverse is equal to 1. For example, the multiplicative inverse of 12 is 1 over 12. Or we can say the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 12 is 1/12. We multiply 12 times 1/12, that's equal to 1. The reciprocal of 23 is 1 over 23, which is still, if you're going to multiply that, is equal to 1. Negative 42 times negative 42 times negative 1 over 42 is still equal to 1. And lastly, negative 100 times negative 1 over 100 is equal to 1. And there you have it. Whew! That's a lot of properties right there. Let's see if you remember all the properties. All in all, there are 10. Now get a sheet of paper and proceed to the next part of the video. Activity 1.1. Now it's your turn. Name the property that makes each statement true. You have 10 numbers to work on. Fill in the blank and determine what properties were used to satisfy the equations. This time, you only have 5 numbers to work on. In a capsule, the properties of integers allow the addends or factors to be rearranged to make the process of computation easier. It means that if you say addends would be addition and factors would be multiplication. The properties of integers does not include subtraction and division. In addition, the properties of integers will help to simplify and solve a series of integers easily. To culminate the module, here is what you can do. True or false? Write T if the statement is true or F if it is false. Congratulations! We just finished Module 5 of Quarter 1. This has been your teacher, Miss Mary Kate. Get involved and keep on learning. If you want more videos like this, please hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.